What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Alongside Detroit sports media icon, of course, he is Terry Foster. T-Foss.
What up, gang?
My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy to have you with us wherever you're watching on our YouTube channel, on the radio as well, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, and of course, 94.7 WCSX HD2. Got a stock show for you, as you might imagine. Lot to unpack.
Can you stop this rain while you're all pontificating over
No,
there?
I'm making it rain, Terry.
Right.
We're making it rain. We're going to make it rain. Lions-Rams talk. There's no question about that. It's Michigan State week officially. We'll touch on it. We'll get those initial thoughts out there, T-Foss. But, Terry, this has become a Monday tradition, as good as the Masters, in my mind. You know, you and I running together on a post-Lions Monday. Look, I know that yesterday will probably go down in Lions lore as maybe – was this a better loss than the Kansas City Chiefs loss? You remember the famous Kansas City Chiefs loss?
That turned into a win.
Yeah.
That's where they won that game.
This, as time goes on, will this Lions loss to the Rams yesterday, will that take on that similar identity of maybe the greatest loss ever?
Because, one, I thought the Lions did play their ass off, and Dan Campbell just clowned. Was he Ted Lasso out there?
Something like
he
that.
Was just, you know, that's what people want. You have a team that's going nowhere. Why play close to the vest? Why not just, you know, wear your underwear on top of your head and have a good time?
Which
You're
they
going out
did
anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. So we always ask for this and never get it. So I was so thrilled that the Lions did this, and I think Dan Campbell was in danger of losing this team. So how do you reinvigorate it? You give players candy, and for players, candy are trick plays, little plays where you say, I believe in you, and that's exactly what he did. Now, he didn't tell those guys he was going to do that, but once they saw that, they're like, okay, we can roll with this. And so that got that team invigorated, and you know what? Dan Campbell's still the man in their eyes. But I really think, you know, when you saw what they did against Cincinnati, and when you see the losses building up, and you hear a guy talking all this junk and there's no production, at some point you lose that team. And I think Dan Campbell sensed, you know what? Might be losing them. I'm going to give him some candy.
And it worked too.
It worked.
And that certainly helps when you try what he tried and it works. And I hadn't really thought about it that way till you and I were talking before the show. And those were some great points made by you, because when you're in a leadership position, you have to do these things, and you especially have to do them when you're 0-7.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way it is. That's the lay of the land for the Lions. Fish is in the bowl here today. Sawyer in the production chair. My guy Sawyer, happy to have him along for the ride here on Big D Energy. But T-Foss, the Lions do fall to the Rams. And, you know, they came out. And look, as you watch that game, here's how I thought as it was going along, and you know, the fake punts and the onside kicks and everything that they did. I knew trouble was afoot when everything went perfectly for the Lions and they were still losing at halftime and the Rams were getting the ball. You remember when you and I talked about clock management before? It was a couple weeks back. That was executed to a T by the Rams too, because they got out of that first half with the lead and getting the ball. That flipped everything.
Well,
and
who's the better team?
Well, 100%.
That's the way it's supposed to go.
100%.
But basically, essentially, the Lions got 10 points on the board and tried to hang on. It didn't work out.
Yeah, because the bottom line is this, Terry. When you're playing a Super Bowl contender, who I think many people have them penciled in to be in the Super Bowl, you are playing them on the road. You can't kick 4 field goals. You can't win in the NFL kicking 4 field goals, man. You just can't.
Right. The field goal is the new loss play.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they put points on the board.
It's the prevent offense, I guess you would.
Right. And that's, yeah, you know, the prevent defense prevents you from winning. The field goal does too. So, but, you know, sometimes when you're a bad team like that, get points on the board. Do what you can do. So I actually have – I have very little problem with the Lions' performance yesterday. I thought they played balls out. I thought they were aggressive. I like when Penei Sewell got into it with Aaron Donald. Said, man, I'm not your bitch. So what's up? So they grabbed each other's helmets and they struggled with each other. So I love that.
I did too, Terry, and that's what I want to see so bad. That's why I was such a big Ndamukong Suh guy, because Penei Sewell showed me yesterday exactly what you said. You're not punking me out here, bro. Like, I know you're Aaron Donald, and I understand that and everything like that, but you ain't punking me, because I'm here too. I was number 7 overall draft pick.
I'm a big man.
I'm a big man. I can play this game too, bro. And I love that. He cemented himself even more to me. Are there struggles with him? Yeah, man. Dude's 20 years old. He's a rookie in the league. No rookie ever in the history of football has walked in this league and dominated from second one. Nobody.
No, but he didn't go out saying, Mr. Donald, you're a fine player, and I'm just happy to be on the same field.
Absolutely.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, he showed me so much right there. That's my guy right there, Penei Sewell. That's the little things, Terry, that show me. And look, they're 0-7. It's 7 of 34. You see how it keeps just ticking up there.
I'm with you.
T-Foss, in 2 months, man, we're going to be nearly through 17 of 34. That's the way that it works. But Penei Sewell is locked in for me. I'll ride with that guy. So the Lions need to figure all that out, what they're going to do with Taylor Decker going forward. But whatever, that's for another time. We're not talking about that here today.
I got bad news for you.
What's that?
They're not going 0-17.
I'm getting worried about that, Terry.
They are not going 0-17.
Well, this is one of those red-letter games coming up this Sunday. Halloween Day. They'll be honoring Chris Spielman. Mm-hmm. There'll be a lot of buzz in the building again, I'm sure. I am concerned about this week, Terry. And you guys know where I stand. If you don't, if you're just checking out the show for the first time, they call me Neal Draft Capital Ruhl, because it's the only ticket out of this, man. It really is. And that... It's the sweetest sound in the world, T-Foss.
All right, but here's what happens. Let's see how this plays out this week. If you hear a lot of people saying they're going to beat Philadelphia, I guarantee you they will lay a turd and lose, because we can't get a read on this team. Cincinnati. They're going to beat Cincinnati because Cincinnati has got flaws and they got a second-year quarterback, and the Lions are playing like animals. They're going to get them. That wasn't even a game. L.A. Rams, they're going to get their asses kicked. What's the spread? 16.5? I wouldn't even take the Lions if it was 20.5. That's the talk. They might be down by 16.5 by halftime. Didn't happen. They came out. Dan Campbell, we didn't know he was going to do all these trick plays and everything, but the bottom line is the Lions played and looked like a completely different team than they did 7 games ago or days ago.
Right.
So once again, we can't get a read on this team. This is a team that plays a good first half or a bad first half and then reverses with a pretty good second half or a bad second half. They're so inconsistent that you can't, there's dots just flying all over the place. You can't pinpoint the dot and put your finger on it. You don't know what's going to happen with this team.
You do have to say that was their most complete 60 minutes, I think, that we've seen, just in terms of minute 1 to minute 60. Now, granted, they're not good enough. They're not good enough to win that game in that building against that team. They're not good enough. But it was a reversal from what we saw. We probably saw their worst 60 minutes the week before. But, Terry, that's what a lack of talent does to you, right? There's nothing that they can lean on. There's nothing this roster can lean on, an area of their game that they can go to when things aren't going well. Just like in life, right?
That is true. The only thing they can lean on is instinct. Like, we're playing Matthew Stafford. If you can't get up for that game, then there's something wrong with you. And so I think Dan Campbell's like, what do I have to lose? The players are like, what do we have to lose? This is our boy over here, but we're going to, what do you do when you play your brother? You play your best. I don't think the Lions can conjure up a game like this again the rest of the season. Now, they might win something or they might play well in something, but I don't think they can be this focused. You notice that one thing I called for we have to watch the Lions in a different way this year. Do they lose, or do they lose in stupid fashion like they have before? This game, they just lost. Yeah, you can talk about the Jared Goff interception, but, it was a great play by Aaron Donald.
And Jalen Ramsey.
And Jalen Ramsey. Other guys make plays. We have to understand that. And sometimes that talent level gets to you. I'm not going to fault Jared Goff for that play because he said, well, maybe the only thing I could have done was throw it out of bounds. Maybe with Aaron Donald in your chest, you can't even get the ball out of bounds. We don't know that. So I'm going to say the Rams made a great play. Finally.
And that was the thing I was talking about, my little text thread. We all got those text threads with our friends and stuff like that during the game. And I was texting with my buddy Ryan, and I told him as the Lions got the ball to start that final drive, I said at some point Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey are going to make a play because they haven't made one yet today. And the track record says they will make one before it's all said and done. And yeah, those are Pro Bowl guys. Those are guys that the Rams traded a ton of draft capital to get. When Jalen Ramsey, they moved multiple first-round picks to get him. He's a dude. There's no doubt he's a guy. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Donald's Aaron Donald, man. And you're not going to hold him off the board for an entire game. And they both made a play on the same play. And that's what it is. And that's why they're good. We saw people are going to crush Jared Goff. And I get it. I understand. He couldn't get to the level Matt Stafford was. That's apparent. We know that. But we knew that the whole time. Like people, I love the way that people get so upset about it, Terry. Like we didn't know.
Why?
Yeah.
Why get upset about it?
I don't know.
I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs. At the very most, they'll win 3 games. We've seen this movie before. I'll tell you what. I didn't get the people flying out there singing the Lions fight song on the flight out there.
We're going to touch on that, some of the Lions fans that were out there when we come back from the next break.
God bless them.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things I had enough of on Sunday, from the broadcast to the fans in the stands. There is a lot. There's a lot to get to on our YouTube chat thread. Remember, if you're watching on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, we have this chat thread that's running. You guys light this thing up like a pinball machine every single day. We certainly do appreciate it. Least I can do is read some of your interactions. Patty Grimes says, most Woodward Sports people had the Rams scoring 50. The Lions did way better than you thought. Well, I said to take the Lions in this game. I said, and this was a couple weeks ago, I said, if you were the Lions and you see this talk and the Stafford butter that's being, that's greasing the pan up, about to cook the meal with and everything, I said, if it were me, I would take that personal, because I know the narrative is that Matt Stafford is the Andy Dufresne of the NFL, where he climbed through the sewers to get out on the other side, stood up in the rain going like that because he got out of Detroit, and that's what the Fox Network and Mark Sanchez and everybody portrayed it as. No, it is true. Hey, Terry, both things can be true.
There you go.
No,
that
Terry,
again.
No. That is
both things can be true.
That is true. That is
you
the
say
case.
That every show.
Yeah, but Terry, people act like he was like this orphan child or something like that. He got $250 million, man.
Right, brother.
He signed 3 contracts.
He had a nicer house here than I did, so yes. I don't feel sorry for him. But here's the thing: we've been trashing the Lions for decades. A lot of people trashed Matthew Stafford for decades. I even said the biggest flaw that Matthew Stafford has is that he plays for the Lions. If he played for any other team in the division, he'd have multiple playoff victories. Now, when somebody else says it, we're all outraged. You know what that is to me? Small town. That's small town Detroit. I know we can say it, but nobody else can say it. That's what people do in, like, Paducah, Kentucky do. Or Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We need to be bigger boys and girls than that.
All right. Well, hey, I got a big spot for it if you want to get that money down on the game, because when it comes to gambling, you always want to make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, and that's why you should make your bets with MyBookie. You can bet all your favorite sports. They got all the exclusive promotions, contests, everything going on to find your winning bet. And right now, when you make your first deposit with MyBookie, you'll instantly receive double your first deposit. Pretty simple here, guys. All you got to do, go to mybookie.ag, sign up, use the promo code Woodward, and MyBookie will double that first deposit instantly up to $1,000. There's a comma in that number, folks. Come on. How's that for fast money? The promotion is only available for a limited time. Don't miss out. Go to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward. Secure your double deposit bonus today. That's promo code Woodward. Double your funds, double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the Michigan Gambling Problem Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Start a new career in an industry that's always essential. Guys, it's fall. It's officially here, as you can tell by the weather today. Summer gets warm, fall it gets cool, heating and cooling. If you want to start a new career, it's pretty simple, guys. You can take that first step by visiting northwesterntech.edu and start a new career that is always essential today. That's northwesterntech.edu. Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, the legend T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house, my guy Sawyer in the production booth. We'll get to know Sawyer as the week rolls on. I'm still getting my read on Sawyer. You know, he looks like he's a pretty good poker player.
Now, you know what Sawyer looks like? Sawyer looks like one of those dudes. You put him in some armor, he could be in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like a knight.
He
like,
could, right.
I could see that. Now, so you got a pretty stoic, like you're all business. Don't worry, I'll break you down.
Oh, thank you.
I'll break you down before it's all said and done.
Not only will he kick your ass, but he'll get the pretty lady too.
Yeah, he's the best of both worlds. Right. He is. No, we'll get to know Sawyer as time rolls on. We all know Fish. Fish is in the bowl as well, but happy to have you all along for the ride. D. Smitty says, do you guys see Sewell against Aaron Donald? That was encouraging. Aaron Donald looked frustrated going against Sewell. They had to switch him inside. And that was my thing that I pulled. Through everything that happened, I don't care about close losses and stuff like that because it's a National Football League. Like, there aren't moral victories. They didn't win. I know this will go down in Lions lore as a top 5 loss, probably the 1A to the Chiefs loss a couple years ago. As Terry, you said, that has turned into a fine wine, that game.
Oh, yeah. They won that game.
They won that game.
They didn't
lose. No, but I understand that. What else do we have here? Oh, Jerry Benson had a good one. He said, suddenly that loss to Cincinnati doesn't seem so bad, considering how beat up the Ravens are worse than the Lions. But I was thinking about it this morning, Terry, actually, when I was running on the treadmill at Planet Fitness. And so while I was running, I popped up my SpoTrack app. I'm not paid by them or anything. I just think it's a great app for players' contracts and everything. The Bengals have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow for the next 3 years at $17 million a year combined.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And about $60 million in cap space by the year 2024. So
they can make a move.
They can make a move.
If they can lure somebody to Cincinnati.
Right.
That's the key.
Yeah, and that is the thing. They got to lure somebody to Cincinnati. But that's what I'm talking. See, that's the model that I have, Terry. That's what I see the Lions doing with 3 of the first 33 picks in this draft and hopefully 3 of the next first 33 picks in year 2. You can flip a roster, Terry. You can.
You can, even if it's 3 of the top 34, you can flip a roster.
Or 36, yeah, right. Absolutely. Right. But it was a big loss.
But you know what? The Lions are playing a game with us. They're playing a game like, well, we don't know if Jared Goff is going to be a long-term future or not. They already know. The answer is no. He will not be. Even if he plays decent football, which is what he's capable of doing, you don't keep a guy who plays decent football on that salary. If you are serious about winning, you got to get rid of him. Yeah. He is not the long-term future.
Yeah, there is. There's no question.
Out.
Yeah, but that's how it was set up, Terry, on the books. You can do that. That was my only real criticism, I guess, of the Brad Holmes regime so far was tacking on that extra year to Goff. But, you know, whatever. It's their guy. Like,
yeah,
they thought it was going to work.
They had to show him a little bit of love because in this community, people just couldn't wait to get rid of him. The clock was already ticking. So at some point, you got to show your players some love to make him feel comfortable here and maybe get him to play some decent football.
I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, Terry, but this was interesting, and I hadn't thought about this. Jerry says Matt Stafford's not winning any Super Bowls there. What was your take? What was your take on Stafford yesterday? Does he have that look of somebody that's going to go into Tampa Bay and beat Tom Brady, or beat Tom Brady when all the chips are in the middle of the table?
I think he is. And, Stafford has shown some fire and flair. The thing, when he did it here, we ignored it. I thought he showed it in that game yesterday. Now, you have to understand this. Matthew Stafford, I thought, played a good game. He had 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's the main thing there. The Lions successfully kept his ass on the sideline. When you're on the sideline, you can't throw any touchdown passes.
Right.
You can't complete any passes. And, I've heard some friends say, oh, he was very, very pedestrian yesterday. I'm like, dude, he was sitting on – he had that stupid look on the sideline like, we have a party. Can I come to it? Am I invited to the party? So I think he would have lit him up for 400 yards if the Lions didn't extend drives, they didn't do the fake field goals, the fake punts and all that kind of stuff. I thought the Lions sometimes did a masterful job of keeping him on the sideline. And so and that was conscious. So I think he can do that because he's not going to have that emotion with Tom Brady. He's not going to be saying, oh, these are my boys over here. No, Tom Brady and Tampa's going to be somebody he wants to destroy from the word go. And Tampa's not going to do all this silly stuff to keep him on the sideline.
But they won't have to because they can get first downs.
They won't have to because we can beat you
straight up.
Straight up. We don't care who you are.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do all the trickery and stuff and won't do it. So I think he will have a shot to beat Tampa in Tampa.
My guy Sawyer was just playing the footage for those of you watching on the YouTube channel of the trick plays by the Lions, and I saw it right away on Twitter. The Jack Fox for quarterback, with the 118.3 QBR he had because of the one completed pass down the field and all that kind of stuff. So I knew that was coming. That was funny.
So when does he take over quarterback?
Yeah, give him a shot.
Yes.
Give him a shot, Terry. Go ahead. No, but I knew that stuff was coming. Dom Rivera says Campbell really wanted this one, pulling out all the trick plays, but he could only get 10 points from it. Our offense just needs help bad. And that's really not lost on me. Again, everything went right, Terry, in that first half. Everything went right. They didn't turn the ball over. They did trick plays to extend drives, and they were losing at halftime. They kept the Rams off the field, and they were still losing at halftime.
Right. Cream rises to the top. Now, I know, yes, they only scored 10 points, but I thought the most important thing was keeping the Rams off the field, even though you only had 10 points. Because, this offense is so anemic. And, if the Lions wanted to be more fruitful offensively, they would have gotten some real wide receivers in here. It's something they didn't do. So I think, in a way, Brad Holmes was saying, I'm tanking before the season even begins. I'm not going to give a shaky quarterback wide receivers. I'm going to try to win in the National Football League by running the football with a young offensive line and, running backs that are decent, but they're not great. So I think, in a way, they're subconscious. They say, okay, we're not going to win this year. We're going to make sure that we have huge flaws on this team. And so if you don't have wide receivers, what do we do in this town? Well, the quarterback can't perform. So we're going to go after that quarterback. We're going to make the decision for the Lions. We don't like Jared Goff. Get his ass out of here. So the Lions will have to release him after 2 years.
And that's been my overriding message about Dan Campbell when he speaks to the media. We don't really see Brad Holmes a ton. But I think when Dan Campbell talks to the media, in the back of his mind, he knows. They all know. Brad Holmes knows. I mean, what did they think? You were going to roll in here, not one capable wide receiver on the roster, and compete? No, they knew that. They knew that when they took the job. There's a reason that Dan Campbell's got a 6-year deal and Brad Holmes has a 5-year deal. They know. When they sat across that table from Ford leadership, they said, look, this is bare. We're going to have to tear it down even further. whatever that looks like. And we'll just have to build it brick by brick. We need draft capital in here now. That's the only way forward is to draft. That sound, guys, that sound is your only hope. It's the only hope, guys. It is. I know, and I'm going to keep banging this drum for the next 2 years, so get comfortable, Terry. But still, through all that, Dan Campbell knows the score. Brad Holmes knows the score, Terry. That's why he's here. Right. The draft is his ticket.
If they wanted cheap wins, they probably would have gotten a wide receiver. They
right.
would have traded up for one. They would have done. They could have done something maybe to get Jamar Chase. They could have traded up. They could have given up assets. But they say, nah, we're going to stand pat because we're going to stink anyway. So, Chase might actually give us 2 or 3 more wins that we want. So we'll just let him stay where he is. We're not going to trade up and try to get this guy.
Robert says, stay tuned for Neal's Church of Stafford segment. Juice's Ghost says, the broadcast was awful. If I had to hear about Stafford's eyes one more time, it went way overboard. And for Mark Sanchez to stand there and go, well, Stafford finally found a home. That dude signed 3 contracts here, Terry. He signed 3 contracts and made almost $250 million. So excuse me if I don't have this, I miss the Stafford family's missed in Detroit that sign. Terry, people made it sound like he came over and helped him mow the lawn or help people with their landscaping or stuff like that.
Yeah,
that was too far, Terry. Detroit misses the Stafford family.
You have to understand, Detroit is a big, small town. We embrace our athletes. We love our athletes. Look at all the love we gave Justin Verlander.
It was the Detroit Astros.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We overreact. We come up with silly signs, and then we laugh at Milwaukee or laugh at another town. So, they're so small town. But we can't look at ourselves. We're just a small town as anybody else.
Terry, do you think in Philadelphia, all right, speaking of Mark Sanchez, do you think a Jets fan saying, New York misses the Sanchez family?
Okay, that's New York, brother. This is Detroit. This is Detroit, Tucky. It is. It is the biggest small town in America.
That sign, that put me over the top, man. Detroit misses the Stafford family. They did a lot of great work. And again, I always have to qualify this. Okay, here we go. The Stafford family did a lot of work here in Detroit. That is appreciated, sure. But with all that being said, here's my usual qualifier. He's gone, and he ain't coming back. So whatever, man.
No, brother. He ain't gone. He said, get me the hell out of here.
He asked to leave the same way Grant Hill did.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Get
the
me
same way
out.
Justin Verlander did.
Well, Verlander maybe didn't. I thought JV wanted to stay here. And
he did not, Terry.
Sure he did.
Terry, now you're reaching.
And might come back. What are you going to say if he comes back here?
If he pitches well, I won't say anything.
No. I'm saying
then I don't want him.
If he comes back, it might be a sign that he didn't want to leave in the first place.
Terry, stop. Come on, Terry. You're a Detroit media icon. You've been around the block. Come on, Terry. That's weak. That's the first time ever I'm calling you out.
All right.
First time ever,
okay.
Terry.
So what are you going to say when he comes back?
Nothing. I probably don't want him. It depends on the money.
That's not
depends
the issue.
on the money.
I don't want his ass either.
Yeah.
He can stay in Houston, but I'm saying
that's
if he
what
comes
I'm saying.
back, then
and guess
it will
what?
show that he does have a soft spot for Detroit.
And guess what? I still have as many wins in the World Series as he does.
I've heard that one
He's
before.
still never left a World Series game better than he started it. Never in his career. Not one time.
True that.
He's always been the second best pitcher in every World Series game he's ever been in. So, he had a chance to do it here, and he didn't, much like Stafford did, so I don't have time for it.
Well, at least JV had a real team he was playing for. Stafford
He
didn't.
did. That is true. Let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. The NFL season's underway, but you can still draft a new fantasy team each week on Underdog Fantasy and win cash prizes. Look at half of you guys right now. You spend all this time in the summer drafting this fantasy team, and you stink. Your fantasy team stinks. You're probably the kind of person that won't trade Alvin Kamara because you don't want to trade him and won't make any moves, but you're sitting there 0-5. So just go to Underdog Fantasy. get a new team every week. Through their slick mobile app and user-friendly site, you can join a league and draft a team in minutes. Plus, the folks at Underdog are going to help you get started. They'll give you a free $10 when you sign up and make your first deposit with the promo code WSN, which stands for Woodward Sports Network. Pretty catchy, huh? So go to UnderdogFantasy.com, the App Store, or the Google Play Store. Sign up using the code WSN. Deposit $10. You'll get $10 free. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code WSN. Your fantasy team is trash right now, so ditch it. Go to Underdog Fantasy and play every week.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl and Terry Foster, T-Foss, in the house. Joyke Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty will be back in the building tomorrow. But again, happy to have you guys along for the ride on the Woodward Sports Network. Lions fall to the Rams. They will host the Eagles on Sunday, Chris Spielman Day, something that I have actually, I don't usually get too into that kind of stuff, Terry, but I'm happy to see Chris Spielman get honored.
Well, Chris Spielman did a lot for the organization. And Chris Spielman, a lot of people who will be there never saw him play.
Right.
He was a monster on the field. He's a self-motivator. He's, I always hate this cliche, the blue-collar guy, represented Detroit, exemplified Detroit. And I love the video where he was reading, a statement about someone's going to be honored. Then he realized, hey, that's me. And he teared up.
Yeah.
That's what Chris Spielman is all about.
Yeah, and that was as real as it gets. I mean, that guy, he's a football player, Terry. At heart, he's a football player. Just loves the game, man. Certainly does love the game. Patty Grimes says, Terry, Terry, I'll read it in the cadence I think that it deserves. Well, Terry, let's see how Stafford does in the playoffs. He hasn't won any playoff games that I know of.
Who did he play for? The Detroit Lions. Jared Goff took a team to a Super Bowl. Now he plays with a BS organization. He may not win a football game, let alone go to a Super Bowl. You guys have here is my message for you. The Lions, and a lot of people haven't gotten this. The Lions are a crappy organization, awful football team, and you have to be perfect to win a playoff game or go to a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. You got to be perfect. You got to be Tom Brady. You got to be Aaron Rodgers. And Stafford is not that. And guess what? Do you know how many Super Bowls Tom Brady would win if he played for the Lions? 0. 0.
They would have won a playoff game, though, with him.
They may have won a playoff game
with
two.
him. Yeah, they would have won a few.
But not in the same year.
Yeah. Patty says Stafford's only won one game against a team with a winning record: Jacksonville, Houston, the Lions, and the Giants. And that's fair. That's a factual statement, Terry. It is.
You play the schedule given to you, and by the way, beat the defending Super Bowl champions on the road.
They did get a win over Tampa. They did, and I understand that. But
you can look at it this way: he has a 500 record against winning teams, and that's pretty good. And beat the defending Super Bowl champions.
Jonathan McCann says, you sound so mad that Stafford couldn't overcome this organization's flaws. And Terry, you know me. We've worked together long enough to know my mantra has always been, at some point you have to rise up. You have to rise up, and
even for the Lions.
Yeah, even for the Lions. That's the mark of your legacy. That's where I say, if Tom Brady were here, he would have won a playoff game. Aaron Rodgers would have won a playoff, because at some point they don't care who's around them. They're saying, today we're winning.
But you're talking about the elite of the elite,
right?
Who else would do that?
Pat Mahomes. I mean, there's Drew Brees. There'd be a pretty long list
right
of them.
now.
Well, yeah, Terry's got a Super Bowl on the resume, man.
Okay,
I do. You know what? Well, I do have to say, because I'm a guy. Look, we say predictions. I'm paid to give opinions and all that kind of stuff. And when we were talking about the NFL season, and we'll go around the NFL coming up in just a little bit. But my bold prediction of the Patrick Mahomes revenge tour has gone the way of the 10-7 limo. It is taking on water, and it is sinking right now out in the ocean. But I did love the ESPN thing. Is Mahomes part of the problem? I saw that on the television today when I was running on the treadmill. Is Mahomes part of the problem? What? And then and the same graphic, it says, first time in his career he didn't throw for at least 250 yards. No, Mahomes is not part of the problem.
Yes, he is
no,
part
he's
of the
not,
problem.
Terry.
Here's what Mahomes is doing. He's doing what he's done all around. He's just playing fancy, free stuff, but now he's turning the ball over. He's not, let's say, he's not as close to detail as he should be. When he fumbled yesterday, and the announcer said, "Oh, he was trying to tuck the ball away. It's not his fault." It was his fault because he had the ball out like a loaf of bread. He tried to bring it in, failed to bring it in the proper way, and fumbled the football. Yes, he's part of the problem. But because he has a Super Bowl ring, and because he's Patrick Mahomes, and plus he's got $1 billion contract, those are things that we are reluctant to say.
No, but ever since Eric Fisher's been gone, protection's been a problem for him. It just has been. And I thought when they brought in Joe Thuney and those guys, I thought it was going to be a good replacement. It hasn't been, Terry. He's running for his life every play. It seems like. It seems like.
And where did Eric Fisher go to school?
Did you see him in Sunday Night Football last night? Eric Fisher, fire up chips.
Yeah, that's right. For the Chippewas.
He said that last night. Fire up chips.
Thank you.
Former number 1 overall draft pick.
I hate when somebody went to Central Michigan and they introduce him and says, "Here is Joe Blow from South Tawas High School." No, you went to Central Michigan. Say it.
Especially, too, why don't they win more at Central? Just given the bloodlines, Antonio Brown and T.J. Watt was there for a minute, and Eric Fisher, the number 1 overall pick. Why don't they win more there?
Well, in the MAC, you have your window of opportunity. We had Brian Kelly and won. Had Lefevre and won, and then they left. So you got to get the right guy with the right disposition who can recruit the second-tier players for them to win. Now it's kind of Western's turn in the state, and after Western, it might be Eastern because Creighton is doing a very good job there.
Terry, don't fall for that.
Hey.
With wins over UMass and St. Peter's and
dude, they used to play. The fat ladies of the poor and lose.
Yeah, well, they did twice this year and won.
What Eastern used to do is they used to try to put together a schedule where Eastern would have 5 wins on there. So they would finish.
That's what they're doing this year.
And they couldn't even do that. Now, Creighton has got them where they can beat teams. They beat my Chippewas more times than we beat them. So I'm not happy about that. Eastern is a dangerous ball club.
No, they're not, Terry. No, they're not.
They win the MAC. That's all. Dude,
when did they win the MAC, Terry?
They win in the MAC. And I'm not talking about this one year. When you look at the last 5, since he's been here, they have won games in the MAC instead of going 0-9 or 1-8 or something like that. Eastern is a project. It's in the shadow of the big house, and it's hard for them to win. Nobody goes to their games.
No, they don't.
In fact, I sat in on a meeting where students, faculty, and other people were trying to get rid of the program.
The football program,
That's how
right.
bad it is.
Well, that's why they did this scheduling philosophy change where they're playing St. Francis, Pennsylvania, and UMass and Texas State. They're spending money to buy wins. They are. That's what they're doing. So they can get to 6 wins and get in a bowl and say, look, we're good. That's what they're doing.
They've done that before.
They
couldn't even win those games.
Yeah, still losing to Northern Illinois and stuff. I'm not falling for it, Terry. I understand how the schedule game works. But anyway. Juice's Ghost, why does Neal hate EMU? Huh? I'm bringing up facts again, guys. Facts and hatred are...
No. That's hatred.
No, it's not. It's factual.
I did not go to Eastern. I do not like Eastern, but I will say this. That football program is a lot better under Chris Creighton than it was 10 years ago.
Okay, man.
I saw an Eastern program want to win a game this year. Can we win a damn game? Can we get more than 500 people in the stadium? This man is a real coach. And you know what? You're going to eat your words. When this dude gets a real job, you're going to say, oh, well, you did a pretty good job at Eastern. But that day's coming.
Dave Schultz says EMU has been to 3 bowl games under Creighton. Dave, look, I know you're an intelligent sports fan. I know that. Check those schedules and look at the teams they beat, especially when they made the change where the non-Division I wins count and all that kind of stuff. They bought their way into bowl games, guys. They did.
Okay, you don't understand this. Eastern couldn't beat Novi High School. Eastern, in fact, there was a kid that we knew, and he was a wide receiver. He was talking to me saying, should I go to Eastern Michigan or Grand Valley or Ferris?
You should go to Grand Valley.
Yeah, but when you shouldn't be talking about comparing a Division II and a Division I program if you feel you can play Division I. He said, you know what? Grand Valley is a better program. Ferris is a better program. Why would I want to go to this crap program, Eastern? That's what they were before. See, you are an elitist. You are, because you're used to, can they compete with Alabama? Can they go to a big bowl game? When you are in the Mid-American Conference, and especially if you're at Eastern Michigan University, if you can buy yourself into a bowl game, you do it. You know who else used to buy themselves?
No, Terry, that's fair. That is fair.
Baby, do you know who else used to buy themselves into the Hawaii Bowl? Michigan State University.
Sure.
So what's the difference?
I'm not mad at it. That's the thing, Terry. No, I'm not mad at it. I'm just pointing it out.
See, I'm pissed that you made me defend Eastern Michigan. Now I'm going to lose my voice.
I get what I want, Terry.
Damn.
I get what I want.
My day's been ruined.
I'm sorry to do that, Terry.
The rain was the worst thing. Now it's no longer the worst thing.
No, I know it's no longer the worst thing. We're going to take a break and come back. And look, guys, I want to get the early thoughts. Michigan beat Northwestern this weekend. I know there's some things to talk about with that game, but it's Michigan State week. I know everybody's excited. I'm here with T. Foss today. I want to get his thoughts on it. So we'll do that. We'll touch on it. We'll get the ball rolling on the Michigan State stuff. Recap Michigan Northwestern as well. But before that, I did want to tell you that since 1919, Coast has pursued one mission: to make the working professional's job safer and life easier. Today, Coast Lights are a favorite amongst tradesmen and women, outdoor enthusiasts, DIYers, and first responders. Visit coastportland.com. Use a promo code WSN20. Get 20% off your purchase. You want to get the Darren McCarty line of machetes? Go for it. You want the lights? Go for it. The travel cups, all of it. Go for it. Get you 20% off with the code WSN20. They stand by their products. They back them up with a lifetime warranty. You buy them for your whole crew? Sign up with the Coast Crew. Take advantage of special discounts, early access to new products, and more. Again, that 20% off code is WSN20, coastportland.com.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Sports Network. That guy is T. Foss, Terry Foster, Detroit sports media icon, star of the Detroit Pistons Bad Boy 30 for 30. I know people will say Isaiah Thomas was one of the stars, but no, T. Foss, Terry Foster.
Now, Isaiah Thomas did a wonderful job. I'm just happy to be a small contributor to a very fine documentary.
T. Foss was the headliner. There is no question. Again, my name's Neal. Ruhl. Fish is in the bowl. Our guy Sawyer is in the production booth. We'll get to know Sawyer.
Game of Thrones.
So Sawyer, all right, I have to ask you then. We got to feel you out, man. Yeah. So, like, were you rooting for Stafford to do well yesterday, for rooting for the Rams to win? Break it down. What was going through your mind?
I wanted Stafford to do well just because, he played at Detroit for so long. But then I also wanted Goff kind of had to play well too just because he was going back there. It was just a game of, like, a lot of things coming together. So I was just more excited for the game as a whole. And I was pretty happy to watch Stafford play good, though. A lot of my extended family went to Georgia, so I grew up watching him play at Georgia.
Okay.
So I've always been a little bit of a Stafford fan, but it was nice to watch us make it close against them, though.
All right,
it's always good to see.
Sawyer sounds like a coach in the post game, but that's fine. We're sizing him up. We're sizing him up.
People, he wants to be cautious right now.
Oh,
We'll get him to loosen up a little bit later.
No, we will.
You may have to get Joik to threaten to beat him up, and that'll probably loosen him up a little bit.
Well, yeah, he'll get the next level of the whole Big D energy experience on Tuesday tomorrow.
Right,
when
because I'm
Joik gets back.
blissful and I'm nice, so I don't want to create any problems here.
Yeah, absolutely. Michigan Wolverines. Pull up on me. That's right. Michigan Wolverines got the win yesterday over Northwestern, 33-7. I know I'll be labeled a hater if I point out that the halftime score was 10-7.
There you go.
Period. The halftime score was 10-7. Michigan had the lead.
Okay. Do you know there's things called second half teams? You do know that if you run the football a lot, you may not break things early, but you wear teams down. What was the final score?
Terry, you do know that the score at halftime was 10-7 Michigan, right?
And you know Ohio State, in that playoff game, they blew out Michigan State. We're only up by one score. And they wore them down, beat them up, had an easy victory. That happens in football sometimes.
I can't, Sawyer, see, you're gonna figure this out. Like, I can't even say factual statements.
No, you can say them, but you pick and choose your factual statements because I know where you're going.
I said the final score was 33-7 before I said the halftime score was 10-7.
No, you said it was 33-7.
33-7, they won.
Do not like the Michigan Wolverines. Confess.
What do you mean do not like them?
You don't like? Tell me why.
What are you talking about, Terry?
You don't like the Michigan Wolverines. You got a thing against them.
No, I mean, I feel they're overrated.
That's true.
I feel as though they haven't gone to a Big Ten championship game under the current format.
That is true.
I feel they haven't won the Big Ten in almost 20 years.
That's true, too.
I feel they have a half a national title since the 40s.
That national title should have been a full one. Nebraska lost that year.
Okay, you're telling me what you think. I'm telling you we know they got a half a national
they
title
lost the game.
since
They got
the 40s.
an extra down.
Well, it's just funny because when I look at the scoreboard, they won, Terry.
It's fake.
Okay, that's fine. They have a half a national title since the 40s. Yes or no?
They have a national title since the 40s.
Okay, whatever. But anyway, that's one. Again, I just point these things out, Terry. I just don't understand all the hype, and I don't understand the Fox broadcast team. When Blake Corum breaks a tackle and gets a 3-yard run. The ha-ha, like all that. And
all right, you talking about my man Gus. He is from Detroit.
Which I understand and respect.
He loves
Great
Michigan.
Announcer.
And you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have someone on there who loves a certain team. For instance, maybe you shouldn't have Kurt Herbstreit commenting about Ohio State. Maybe you shouldn't have Desmond Howard commenting about Michigan. Gus Johnson loves the University of Michigan.
Good luck, because they're both doing their respective games this weekend. So Herbstreit's doing the Ohio State-Penn State game, right. And then Gus is doing the Michigan-Michigan State. So good luck with that.
Rachel Watson says Neal's always bringing up the past. It happened.
But in his defense, that's what Michigan people do. They bring up the past. Do you know why Michigan is a 4-point favorite?
4.5 now, Terry. I update the line.
Favorite against Michigan State because of Bo, because of the 1970s, because of the 1980s, because you always think that when Michigan is compared to Michigan State, everything Michigan is better than Michigan State. That's implanted in us because of what happened in the 70s and 80s and the 90s. We don't look at what the recent history, and the recent history is Michigan State is beating Michigan more than Michigan is beating Michigan State. My son, 19 years old, from his perspective, he told me this. He says, how can people always say Michigan's going to beat Michigan State? He says, the way I look at it, State wins most of the time.
Which my son, who's 14, says the exact same thing.
And I said, son, it's because of the 70s and 80s and Bo. That's why.
And again, that's where my questions are rooted, even the whole Bo thing.
And your hatred.
No, I have questions about that. Like
Okay.
I don't understand. Do you think somebody will ever have a 2-8 record in the Rose Bowl again? No, because they'll be fired before that.
It all depends on what you do in the regular season. But Bo, yeah, when Bo was 2-8 in the Rose Bowl, we made excuses for him. Well,
they got to go out and play in LA.
Go out and play in their backyards and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, but he lost to Washington, which, by the way, do you know how long the flight is from Washington to LA? It's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
That's a long flight.
It is. People don't realize that. Yeah.
Yes. They're not next to each other. So we made excuses for Bo. We do make excuses for Michigan. I will grant you that. But I think your little edge is a little. You just want to make sure that you bring out these facts. Which
I just want people to know, because people go about this as if they might not be informed about what the facts are. That's all.
Okay.
And I'm not a pro Michigan State person. I'm not. Look, I have friends, good friends that work at the University of Michigan.
Oh, yeah,
I want them to do
well.
well.
What that sounds like? I got black friends too. I got good friends
Terry,
in Michigan.
that one's always followed with but.
Right. So you got friends at the University of Michigan.
Yes.
But
yeah. that always does make me laugh. No, but Michigan does get the win 33-7, and they did. They ran away from Northwestern in the second half. Northwestern isn't it's not the Darnell Autry Northwestern Wildcats out there. We'll just say it like that anymore.
But you know what I heard? I heard early in the season when Michigan State beat Northwestern, that was a big win.
It was.
Except from people from Michigan that say, Northwestern's no good. So you're getting caught up in the rivalry already.
I know, but Terry, so getting into that, have you seen a year? Have we ever seen a year in this Michigan State rivalry where these two teams are each other? They're literally looking in the mirror at each other. The schedules are the same. The wins that we were told were big wins at the time turn out to not be very big wins based on what happened. They're literally the same, aren't they, Terry?
They are. But you know why it's happening this way and why our narrative is the way it is? Because back in the day, State was no good. State was just a team that Michigan, they kicked their ass just about every year. And then now and then State would springing out upset. And then we'd have to say, hey, when Michigan and State play, throw out the record books. You don't say that anymore because State can legitimately beat Michigan. And they have. It's a better program than it was in the 80s, even under George Perlis. I remember George Perlis was so happy. He went through a 7-year stretch where he was 3-4 against Michigan and used to brag about it all the time. Werner Highway, blah, blah, blah. He always used to bring up the Werner Highway. The Werner Highway, it's where you get tough. We're 3-4 against Michigan. That's still a losing record.
Yeah.
That's what losers say.
That is true. Naki23 says, Neal, back in the day before you were born, Bo had a winning record against Ohio State and Michigan State, and in those days, that's what mattered. Well, Naki, that's my point, though, even about that, is Woody won 5 national titles. Bo didn't win any. I keep hearing about that. Well, they knuckled up with Ohio State, and it was a rivalry. Well, Woody Hayes was winning national titles.
All right, brother, those weren't real national titles. They were mythical.
Oh, no, don't start that, Terry. The Michigan fans will tell you about the 40s right now.
Hey, I hear
we
about
beat
the
Princeton
40s.
fair and square.
I hear about the victories over Alma College and what happened in 2004. And I'm not talking about 2004. I'm talking about 1904.
Terry, be careful. They're going to jump up and grab you the same way that they grabbed me now.
Let them grab me. I don't care. Those are mythical championships. We didn't know if Ohio State was the best team that year. The writers decided. They didn't decide it on the field. And in fact, when Michigan won its national title in '97, wouldn't the game should have been Michigan-Nebraska? Instead, Michigan plays Washington State. I have no idea who Nebraska played. They didn't play each other, so we didn't know. We didn't know who was the best team. I think Michigan would have won that game, but I hear from a lot of people, Nebraska would have kicked their butts.
The Vegas people have talked about that in the past and said Nebraska would have been a pretty substantial favorite in that game, betting favorite. But they don't play the games in Vegas. They play them on the field.
They do not. But that's the way it would have started. But the Michigan people would have bet that game down where it would have been a pick 'em.
Yeah. Tommy Williamson says, not many years you can say this, but Michigan has more depth and is more physical, and that is what typically wins this game, and that's why U of M will win on Saturday. And Tommy, I will say that I'm with you. I do believe Michigan's going to win the game this weekend. I do. I do believe that they have more depth. I do believe that they have more total talent. The physical part, though, is where I always get hung up when kind of breaking this game down, because, Terry, I think that Michigan State has proven in the past it matters more to them.
Yeah, it does. I think Michigan is more physical than they have been before.
That's fair.
But when you look at Michigan State, man, those dudes thump. Those are some monsters that, not big guys, but those are guys that just...
And it's personal, Terry. I mean, the mentality. That's where I talk about, like, with Stafford. Okay, and the playoff thing and having the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to win at Dallas, but only scoring 6 points in the final 3 quarters of the game. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That mentality where when Michigan State plays Michigan, they know what's said. They know what everybody's talking about. They know what the media is saying. It's personal to them where they can say, you know what? Is this guy a 5-star dude from California? Yeah. Is over the course of a season, are his numbers better than mine? Yeah, but not today. Not this play. Not today, Terry. That's where it's different.
Yeah, it is different. I had a long conversation with Vern Golston, who plays for Tampa. He's a Michigan State guy, and he told me, here's what happens with Michigan and Michigan State. State gets all these dudes who are 2 and 3 stars. They're pissed off that they got overlooked by Michigan. They're pissed off that they're considered lesser than, and they raise their game up. And he says, but what you got some dudes that are very athletic. They do have talent, and they can raise their game. And he also said that if you are a 3-star and Michigan is recruiting you, you turn into a 4-star.
Right.
Automatically.
Well, and Terry, and that's my other problem with, like, the whole Michigan propaganda machine is that if you're a 3-star and Michigan recruits you, you turn into a 4-star. And you know why that is, right? Like, you lived in the journalism world. When you write a story about Michigan or write a story about Michigan State, which one gets more clicks?
Oh, Michigan. No question.
And if you're a recruiting service or recruiting site and all of a sudden you write about how this guy's a 4-star now that Michigan's talking to him, what do you get more of?
You get big hits and you get excitement. Right. Your little website is noticed.
Right.
What you should do is write about Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU,
Clemson. Right.
Call it a day in Clemson. Yeah.
Right. And that's what it is. And again, Michigan has a talented team this year. I don't know. I don't think that it's on Ohio State's level. I don't think it's college football playoff level. And if it's not that, it's Michigan, Terry. At what point does the bill become due? At what point do you have to take that step forward? When?
All right. Here's what you got to do it quickly. If Michigan loses to Michigan State, I think you seriously need to look at Jim Harbaugh. Is he going to be your coach for the future? Because here's what I'm thinking. If Michigan's going to lose to Michigan State, they're going to lose to Ohio State again,
right.
Be 0-8. And why are you hired to be Michigan's coach? Not to win football games. You're here to win games against Ohio State, and you're here to win the Big Ten. And once again, he's not going to be able to do that. So how long do you stick with Jim Harbaugh? This game is personal for Michigan State, but I think it means more to the Michigan coaching staff because I do not have an administrative job at Michigan. But if he loses the state and I'm in charge at Michigan, I'm saying, okay, maybe we got the wrong guy here. Because if he's losing the state, I know he's going to get his bell rung against Ohio State again. He's not going to win the Big Ten again. I got the wrong guy here.
Well, let me tell you, he might be the wrong guy. He might be. But let me tell you what the right move is for lunch. Papa Romano's Pizza. That's right. Go to paparomanos.com. Order it all up. They got the gruesome twosome Halloween special. 2 large, 1 pizza. 2 large 1 topping pizzas for just $19.99. That's pretty simple. You got like 5 or 6 you at the office right there. There you go. Boom. Lunch is handled. 2 large 1 topping pizzas, just $19.99. Go to paparomanos.com, hit it up, get it ordered up, slide in, pick it up. Lunch is done for the day. That's going on all week. The Gruesome Twosome Halloween special, 2 large 1 topping pizzas, just $19.99. There, solve lunch for you. paparomanos.com.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, getting that early Michigan State discussion in. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy is Terry Foster, Detroit sports media icon. Fish is in the bowl. Our guy Sawyer is in the production booth. Keeping, he's running a tight ship so far, Terry. I do have to say, the early returns are good, T-Foss.
Well, yeah, it is.
I want to see how he handles success, though.
Yeah, because when you were around here for a while, you get a little loosey-goosey,
right?
And your game diminishes. So he's got to keep it up for a while.
Yeah, he is. So he's all business. Like, I do like that, but we're gonna have to break him down a little bit, Terry, as the week goes on. Now he'll have some other stuff to deal with tomorrow when D-Mac and Joik. It's a little more. It's a little more on his end, a little more on his plate.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
It's a little louder around here.
It's a little louder.
And
so we'll see.
D-Mac spits tobacco all over the place, so let's see if you can handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the people like you so far, Sawyer, as we go through the YouTube chat thread, and I appreciate everybody's comments. So far, so good, but then again, we're only 61 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's not start putting your name on the trophy yet, okay?
Yeah.
All right. No, but on our YouTube chat thread, and we're talking this Michigan State stuff, and Juice's Ghost, I think, has the $1 million comment on here as far as it goes. We still don't even know if Michigan can throw a ball past 20 yards. And T-Foss,
that's the big issue.
That is a big issue. And every week I'm seeing it more and more, and it was bad. It was bad Saturday against Northwestern. Cade McNamara was bad. He was, man.
I think a lot of this is fan-generated.
Break the tape.
I don't think he's – and I'm not just talking about one game, but I don't think he's been as bad as Michigan fans have said. Right now, we like to see the vertical game. We like to see what the Lions did, taking chances and stuff. And what you have is a game manager in McNamara. You can win in college football with a game manager. What people are doing is looking ahead and assuming you can't beat Penn State or Ohio State with a game manager. You can beat Penn State. I think Michigan's going to beat Penn State. I don't care who's the quarterback. The question is, what are they going to do with Ohio State? I think they'll lose. And what are they going to do with Michigan State? That's probably a toss-up. But I think State's going to beat them this weekend. But that's a toss-up. That's going to be one of those ugly games where the only people who enjoy the Michigan State game this year are going to be people from Michigan and Michigan State. They're going to be all in like, man, this game is great. And people who don't care about them like, oh, man, this game is boring as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get this thing done.
Tommy says Thorne was bad against IU, and yes, he was. But he has shown, I think that Payne Thorne has shown more capabilities, I guess you would say, to be a vertical threat.
He has. I've liked him better.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has his moments where you're like, woo, don't like this guy.
Well, he's a young player. With that being said, he's a young player, and he has shown more. Let's just say it like that. Again, you go top to bottom, talent top to bottom. I think Michigan has the edge. I think at the quarterback spot, though, Michigan State has the edge. I think the running backs shake out about even. So, again, it's one of those things where who will make the play? Can Michigan State? And much the same ilk where I talked about with Iowa, where when you're counting on 4 interceptions a game or forcing 4 turnovers a game, that runs out. And conversely, if you're Michigan State and you're counting on a 65-yard pass play, you don't get those every week, Terry.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I like Michigan State's playmakers way better than Michigan's.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think with Walker and the other wide receivers. I'm talking about Walker, the running back, and these dudes are borderline elite. These guys are head and shoulders above what Michigan trots out there. I think what Michigan does, though, on the counter, that defense is better. Michigan State's defense, I know they're not giving up a lot of points, but the product looks flawed to me. I'm used to Michigan State, and maybe I'm comparing Michigan State to under D'Antonio, but those dudes, you couldn't run against them, and what you could do is now and then you could break them down with a long pass. For whatever reason, Michigan State has always been vulnerable to the long pass, but now they're vulnerable to the short pass, the long pass, the medium pass, whatever. There seems to be something wrong. There's something wrong with the brew. But the wide receivers and Walker, the running back, but they're going to be superior in that regard. Defensively, give me Michigan all day.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. And the spread, I know what the point spreads are designed to do, but that point spread seems fishy to me, Terry. For Michigan to come out as a 4-point favorite, it's been bet up to 4.5 the last time I looked about 15 minutes ago. That tells a story to me, I think, that because if you're an independent arbitrator looking at this game, I think that you would say Michigan State's at home, you're getting 4 and a hook with them. That's a lot of points to be getting in a rivalry game where you've dominated.
But once again, we're looking at the 70s, the 80s, we're looking at both.
Right. That's what I can't break down, Terry. Like the Michigan tax, as I like to call it, there's usually like a 3-point Michigan tax when you bet on them because everyone's going to bet on them. So I can't quite decipher that as of yet.
I actually thought Michigan would be a 6.5-point favorite.
Okay.
And so the 4.5 seems right because they're trying to get that money on both sides, and the Michigan Mafia is always going to vote blue. They're always going to put their money on blue. So Vegas got to figure out how far up should we go. This should be a pick'em game. It's a rivalry game.
Right.
State's at home. State hates Michigan more than Michigan hates them. But on the other hand, I think this is more of a must-win for Michigan than it is in Michigan State because the stakes are higher. I think you have to start looking at, do we look at a different coach? Because then if Michigan loses, you've had your coach there for almost a decade, and this is your guy. Mel Tucker came rolling in the pandemic and then beat you twice in a row in a rivalry game. There's something wrong with that.
No, I would agree with you because, but again, it seems to be okay because he's been losing. He's still here. You know what I'm saying?
You know why? Because this is the guy. And Michigan fans look at it as, well, who else can we get? This is the guy that we've coveted for years. This is the guy that played at Michigan, played for Bo. It doesn't get any better than this. So they're going to hang in there a little bit longer. Now, if Harbaugh was coaching Ohio State and doing this crap and losing to Michigan, I think he'd really be on the hot seat this year. He's not really on the hot seat except from some Michigan fans. But to me, that doesn't count.
Right.
Does the administration look at you and say,
and they've shown no signs of that. No signs of that. But again, that's my overriding problem with it all. You know, when people say that you're a Michigan hater and everything like that, that's my complacency is my problem with it, Terry. That's my problem with it. Because again, even going back to the Bo thing, when I talked about, do you think a coach ever again will be 2-8 in a Rose Bowl? No, because he'll be canned. That people won't stand for that, Terry.
Harbaugh could go 2-8 in the Rose Bowl and keep his job.
That is my problem with it. That's my problem with it. Because you should contend for the national title at Michigan with all the resources you have, with the name brand recognition that you have, a great university. And again, I hope my children go to Michigan. I do. It's a great school. It opens a lot of doors for you when you have a Michigan degree.
I think you can only win a national title if you play in the SEC or Clemson or you're Ohio State. I think it's closed for everybody else. I'm real curious to see when somebody else outside of that realm wins a national title again.
I want to talk about that when we come back because that's interesting to me, Terry. And, as far as why is it closed, I have some thoughts as to why that is. I'll give those to you coming up in just a couple minutes. But I do want to let you know that Woodward Sports Network has you covered for the Detroit Lions pregame show this Sunday. You guys are going to be out there anyway. It's Chris Spielman Day at Ford Field, and we'll be coming to you live from the tin roof on the second floor on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter channels. It'll be myself, Joik Bell, Maz, Jade from WRIF as well. The show will be simulcast on 101.1 WRIF, The Riff. Come on out, meet Joik, get an autograph. Joik loves being with the people, Terry.
He's a people person.
He's a people person, man. Come on out, see Joik, say hello, get an autograph.
Braylon.
Yep, absolutely. You can win great Woodward Sports prizes and more. Again, that's live at the Tin Roof, 11-1, right before the Lions take on the Eagles on Halloween. I want to see the costumes. I want to see all the pomp and circumstance. I can't wait. And then afterwards, since you're downtown anyway, slide on by the Brass Rail in downtown Detroit for the postgame show, as we will start broadcasting live at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. Hopefully this is a week we celebrate Dan Campbell's first win. We will see. It's brought to you by Woodward Sports and Jim Beam. Stick and Anson will be down there. We'll get all the fan reaction, all the highlights as well. You can join the after party and the VIP area for Woodward Sports fans. There's pizza and more. The official postgame for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail.
You'll be dying to get your hands on Papa Romano's gruesome twosome. This spectacular deal gets you 2 large one-topping pizzas for a limited time for $19.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Second hour of the show here. Minute flies by. Terry Foster in the house in the stead of Darren McCarty and Joik Bell. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy to have you guys all with us for the ride. Juices Ghost says, thanks for being honest, Neal. Guys, every word I say into this microphone is honest. I'm not one of these people. Yeah, 100% honest.
You just said, let's go to the Brass Rail. Hopefully the Lions picked up their first victory. Was that being honest?
No, that was in the commercial. That was different.
That's not honest.
That was different. We delineated, though. They put they knew I was doing a commercial at that point.
Okay.
Now, I don't hope for
saying.
that, but Terry, a lot of the fans do. I don't hope for that. No, I don't.
But you said it.
Okay, I'll make an addendum on here.
Okay.
Here, thank you.
Hopefully
all right,
the Lions
let me make an addendum.
Pick.
Okay, here we go.
You play to win the game.
Join Woodward Sports and Jim Beam at the Brass Rail downtown. We'll broadcast live at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game this week. The people hope to celebrate Dan Campbell's first win.
Bam, there you go.
Join Woodward Sports and Jim Beam. 2-minute warning of every game. There you go.
All right, it's more like it.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, you kept me honest there. No, but guys, every word I say in here is honest. It's what I feel. Been watching sports, my whole life, like you guys have, and this is what I do. So, I am. But Terry, you brought up an interesting point. This wasn't on the show sheet or anything like that, but this is something that I've always thought as well, and I'm curious to get you to talk about it further. In that, where you say the national title is closed to everyone except SEC schools, Clemson, and Ohio State, who resides in the Big Ten. And Terry, there's a part of me that feels the same way, which is part of my disappointment with Michigan. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Because here's the real deal. And just goes, you want honesty? I'll give you honesty. Because in the SEC, in Tuscaloosa, or in Clemson, South Carolina, or in some pockets around Columbus, Terry, when stuff happens at a bar or speeding or fill in the blank, and you know what I'm saying right here.
I know.
The community buys in Tuscaloosa to the point where if there's a disruption at a bar, to the point where the authorities are called, I'm of the opinion that it gets handled. And players get taken off to a different part than maybe some of the ruckus makers might go to the police station or whatever. Players go somewhere else. You've heard the same stories I've heard. You've talked to the same people I've talked to. I'm not naming names or anything like that. But we know of these things. We have heard these stories before. There's a different level. I call it community buy-in in those places that you mentioned, Terry. The community buys in. And I'll just leave it at that. Do you think that's fair, or do you think I'm being crazy?
I think that's fair. Are you ready to attack me again?
No.
Yes, you are.
All right, let's see.
You're about to.
Let's see.
To win a national championship, you have to cheat in recruiting. You have to do some things that are below the table, below the belt, and I think those schools that compete for national titles do that. I don't think they do that in Michigan. And I'm not in the Michigan snob or everything, but I think if you say, hey, I'm going to give this guy a few, and I know you have the NIL and stuff,
yeah.
But to lure guys there, I still think you need to do some things, whether it's money, women, houses, or whatever. That's what you need to do. And I still believe Michigan will not do that. If you say, hey, I got $100,000 to pass out to players illegally here in Alabama, they're like, all right, cool. Just don't let anybody know. If you say that in Michigan, they're like, well, wait a minute. That's not what we do here. We want to do it above board. We want to be clean. And, yeah, Michigan will hire a parent to get a kid to go there. They'll do stuff like that, but there's certain things Michigan will not do. And unless you're willing to get down, dirty, muddy, nasty, you're not going to win a national title.
And Benjamin Foe says on our YouTube chat thread, athletes get paid now, so that's out the window, right?
No, it's not out the window.
But the culture, the institution of it is not the same here than it is down there, or here than it is in Columbus. It's not the same. The culture of it's not the same, Terry. The groundwork has been laid for a very long time,
right?
In my opinion.
And this is probably a mistake on their part, but I was at Ohio State. I was there for a basketball game, and I met some guy who's with the university. He took me through the process that they take recruits on for their weekend visit.
Right.
He showed me who they talk to, where they go, what they give them and stuff. And I left there, said, if I'm deciding between Ohio State and Michigan, there's no way in hell I'm going to Michigan. This is too sweet. Because they take you to these fine restaurants, give you private rooms. I don't know if they give you lobster, but they give you the best foods and stuff like that. And
Cody Ingle says, "Don't give me that it's harder to get into Michigan either. If you're good enough, you'll get in." And no, 1,000,000%, Cody. Like let's not put Michigan up there with the Catholic Church, okay, Terry? The kinesiology majors and stuff like that. You know that, and that goes on at Michigan too, people. I do know that.
Exercise science.
You want to be a chemistry major? Have we told you about the kinesiology department?
Right.
You know, like that does happen at Michigan. So, you can get down off your high horse for a couple of minutes, but at the same time, Terry, they don't go the JUCO route, which I believe hurts them a lot too.
Yeah, it does.
You use JUCO in the community college ranks to plug holes instantly.
Right. So Michigan has a certain standard, and I think it hurts them. It precludes them from winning a national championship. They can't win one. Michigan State can't win one. Iowa definitely cannot win one. Wisconsin can't win one either. Ohio State is the only school that can win a national title in the Big Ten.
Because there is a line.
Right.
There's a line, and that's why, the frustration. But, Terry, I wonder when will that boil over to ratings? Because it hasn't so far. And the television money keeps climbing. They're going to add teams to this playoff. I guess that's how you appease it, though, at the same time, too, right? You include all these teams under the guise that you do have a chance. The television ratings soar higher. The amount of money that the networks pay soars higher. So everybody wins in the end, I guess,
right?
Yeah,
they do. The Block M is very, very popular. Michigan is a huge school. They have influential alumni. And you know what? They love Go Blue. You're not going to be able to tell them that Michigan isn't the best program in the nation, isn't the best school in the nation. If you want to call it being brainwashed, well, they're brainwashed, and they're not going to change. So, I mean, look here locally. there are a lot of people who live here in the city of Detroit, Metro Detroit, state of Michigan. They feel the same way about the crappy Lions. As bad as the Lions have been, you run into people all the time. You're too negative about the Lions. Why are you so negative? Blah, blah, blah. This team can beat anybody. Blah, blah, blah. This team is good. You know, I've been accused of making the Lions lose because my words, said that they're not good. If you were more positive, maybe this team would read it and be better. That's baloney.
How did you not laugh? Like, you're mad. Like, how do you not laugh into the microphone?
My ass off. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Dude, I'm in a restaurant, and this is under Marty Morningweg. So I'm eating, and this woman is staring at me. So I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I still got it. The old man, she's checking me out.
Were you downriver?
No, I wasn't downriver.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was in Sterling Heights. So this dude walks up to me. He said, that woman looking at you is my girlfriend. So, okay, now I got to fight this dude. She thinks you write too many bad things about the Detroit Lions. I'm like, yeah, but it's a horrible team. It's a horrible organization. And Matt Millen's in charge. So they're not going to win as long as he's here. So this woman comes up, and she's talking to me. And, I think the Lions have a chance. They got talent, and they got the right coach, the right GM, and all this stuff. Are you going to eat your words? I'm like, all right, fine. I said, we can agree to disagree. It's an awful organization. I don't know why you love this organization. And this woman, you're going to eat your words, eat your words. You know what their record was that year? 2-14. 2-14.
Right.
Right.
Because that's what it usually is, Terry.
Sure.
That's
No. Usually 7-9. Remember, 9-7 is not good enough.
Yeah. Juice's Ghost says, Terry, it was you and Drew Sharp that single-handedly ruined the Lions.
That is true, yes. Drew and I got into a fight about the Lions, as a matter of fact.
I have to hear that story right now. I need to stop what I'm doing and listen to this.
We're covering the Pistons, and we're talking about the Lions, and Barry Sanders was playing. And all I wanted Drew to say is that the Lions are a solid team. He refused to say it. And this is when they were making the playoffs. So we got into a tussle. In fact, hotel security called and said, stop making so much noise. So we had to chill out a little bit. I was not willing to say the Lions were going to win playoff games or were great or anything. I just wanted him to say they were a solid team at that moment in time. He refused to say it, so I put him in a headlock.
You know what was funny is when I worked with Drew at 105.1, I loved it because I gave the same Michigan, my feelings have never changed. I told you guys I'm honest about how I feel. When we did the shows together, same Michigan take that I have. Like, it's rooted. I'm not changing it. It's been right so far. And everybody would call in and say Drew's a hater. But I could say whatever I wanted, and it didn't matter. That's why I like working with Drew.
But Drew, the other thing he was on is the Big Ten. He had a little song. He would just be singing it. And it went like this. Oh, the Big Ten sucks. The Big Ten sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. No matter who they play outside the Big Ten, they're going to lose the game. Except for the MAC, they'll beat now and then. And they were losing some games to the MAC at that time, too.
Drew, man. Rest in peace, man. I miss that guy. He certainly was a lot of fun. But we were talking about this whole purveying attitude about why the national championship is closed to some teams. And Terry and I both are of the belief it's closed to Michigan and Michigan State. Basically, it's closed to everyone that doesn't want to put the pieces in place, whatever those pieces may be. And I was talking to an administrator recently about the whole Mel Tucker thing, and you know how this narrative was going to go, right? The Michigan fans were saying, "Oh, Mel Tucker's gone." Michigan State fans, what are you going to do? Mel Tucker's going to be leaving, and the Michigan State fans were sitting there saying, "No, he's going to stay here for life," and all that kind of stuff, which is how fan bases are supposed to be. They're supposed to be that way. But I was talking with an administrator about it, and I said, break this down to me. I said, How really would this go down? And they told me, they said, it breaks down like this. If LSU or an SEC school decides that's a coach they want, then they're going to get him. because they will go to whoever they need to go to. And if Orgeron's buyout $17 million, then they go to a booster and say, we need $17 million, and that check gets written on the spot.
That's right. Like Nick Saban doesn't have to pay for his house. He got the sweetest house in the world. The booster said, I will buy it. We'll pay for it.
Because that's the level. And again, that's my frustration, because I know Michigan has those people around, but that's not how they conduct their business. So if you don't, if you want to swim with the sharks, you got to get in the water, man.
That's right. You got to get dirty.
Yeah, that's just the way that it is.
That's what you want to call it.
Yeah. And look, your hair can be dirty and a mess and everything like that, but Lady Jane's can get you squared away because, hey, I'm a guy. I'm simple. If my wife were here, she would say the exact same thing, that I'm too simple. And maybe that's true. I like football on Sunday. I like the remote in my hand. I like things uncomplicated. That's the thing I like the most. I just want things to be uncomplicated. Like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sit down. Before you know it, your hair is game ready. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, the venerable Terry Foster in the house as well. Woodward Sports has the Michigan State game day covered as well. Join Woodward Sports and Gypsy Vodka for the pregame show at the Hopcat in East Lansing. That'll be Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. I may be sliding out for that one, Terry. I got a long day Saturday, but I think I'm going to slide through there and see what's going on. We're going to see who takes home the Paul Bunyan Trophy. There'll be Bloody Mary specials. I didn't know that. I'm definitely going to be there now. Giveaways and more. Come pregame with Woodward Sports this Saturday and Gypsy Vodka. That one is going to be a lot of fun. There is no question about it. But we've been talking about it, and we have all week to get into the Michigan State game. We touched on it a little bit. But getting some of your reaction on our YouTube chat. To remember, if you're watching on the YouTube chat or on the YouTube channel, you can jump in that chat as well. Cody says the fact that Mel's contract hasn't been reworked shows how Michigan State doesn't want to play big boy ball. And I would give them through the end of the season for that. Maybe he wins Big Ten Coach of the Year, and then you do that whole big press release, and he wins Big Ten Coach of the Year. We've extended him for 5 years, and you know how that stuff works.
No, Michigan State has to not talk a game. They have to show that they're big boys. If LSU is offering them $8 million, guess what? You got to too. If LSU is offering them $10 million, you have to too also. You can't offer $8 million and nobody is going to take the hometown discount.
No,
we always
not.
tell people to do it. I'll just take a couple million less. Then people don't do that. They try to maximize because when you're in athletics as a coach or player,
when you're in life,
you only have a minimum. You have a window where you're going to make some money, and then after you get outside that window, nobody wants you. Nobody wants to pay you. So you got to get all you can.
Absolutely. Terry, I talked about it last week. If Michigan comes to me and says, hey, we want you to be the football play-by-play guy, go blue.
Bam. That's what you got to do.
Have I told you about the 81 Rose Bowl?
No, I'm sure you're going to tell me about Bo and
Ricky
Woody
Powers and Tumunga Biakabatuka.
Ricky Leach.
Oh, yeah.
All about that stuff.
No, absolutely, Terry. Jake Long.
Jamie Morris.
Remember when they beat down Ryan Leaf in the Rose Bowl, Terry?
Yes.
Steve Entman. That was a tough one.
Ryan Leaf went nuts when he became a pro.
Yeah, he did. But good to see him getting it back together, though. Terry, I did want to go around the NFL. I wouldn't say a big Sunday of NFL action. It didn't feel very marquee yesterday, did it?
No.
The NFL slate?
No, when the Lions are one of the marquee matches up, that's a weak thing.
What stuck out to you yesterday, outside of the city of Detroit missing the Stafford family? What else stuck out to you in the NFL?
Well, I miss the Stafford family.
I know. Well, I did too. I'll never forget that time he came around the corner and helped me with the landscaping. I was putting those new rocks in, and he helped me lay down the weed fabric. I'll never forget that, man.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I had one for you. I forgot what it is because I'm old.
No, well, that's cool. I'll give you a couple seconds. For me, I think the Cincinnati Bengals put some people on notice, and it wasn't just because of. I mean, it is because of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but it's not because of what they did against Baltimore. It was more along the lines of I noticed it, and we saw it a little bit here at Ford Field. But then I opened it up, and I took a look at the financials and the stuff like that. And I texted to my buddies, and we were talking about it. I mean, Jamar Chase, 754 yards through his first 7 career NFL games, and more than Anquan Bolden. I mean, the numbers he's putting up, like walking in the door and putting up. And remember in the preseason, I don't know about Jamar Chase. He's dropping a lot of balls in the preseason. Terry, he might be a bust. Remember that talk?
Yeah, people make too much of the preseason.
Yeah.
They make too much of a guy trying to figure out the National Football League. And once again, I go back to, you know who else was a bust early in his career and people want to run out of town? Herman Moore. Because he couldn't see, he dropped passes, he was a bust. Then he's probably the second best line wide receiver of all time after Calvin Johnson.
People do sleep on him, don't they?
Yes.
They do. He dominated the NFL for a 3-year stretch.
Right.
Dominated with Jerry Rice and all those guys.
Right. And then Matt Millen comes, and him and his bonehead coaches, they refused to go to the Herman Moore fade in the end zone. That was his bread and butter. And then I noticed when they came in here, that play disappeared.
Who was a high jump track star.
Right.
Like a nationally relevant high jumper.
Right.
They go away. Well, don't get me started with that, though. No, but Chase has over 200 yards receiving. But to me, Terry, I talked about it earlier, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are under contract to the Bengals for the next 3 years for a combined $17 million a season on average.
So I knew money would come into the equation for you.
But, Terry, is there a better setup? You're talking about a team, too, with like $60 million in cap space in 2 years. I mean, the Bengals have the opportunity. You don't crown them for that because the management still has to do it. But they have they have all their own draft picks. You know, they're not draft bear or anything like that. They're in a position where through free agency, through the draft, they can even add even more pieces. Terry, they could be the next squad. I know we laugh because it's the Bengals, but they're in a position.
Well, we don't have the right to laugh here in Detroit. I remember people calling them the Bungles. Now, you can do that in Green Bay. You can do that in Dallas. You can do that in San Francisco. But in Detroit, we don't have the right to call somebody the Bungles because of the stuff that we got here in Detroit, where we celebrate losses. Hey, almost got him. Hey, great.
Rank your top 5 losses. Number 1, the Chiefs a couple of years ago. 1A, the Rams yesterday.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Is there recency bias in the great loss rankings of all time, you think? Or no? Do you think that this was a classic Lions great loss yesterday?
It was.
It's top 5, right, for sure?
Yeah, it might be number 1 because Dan Campbell did things that we kind of want losing organizations to do. And they won't do it, but he did it.
Right.
And it invigorated a horrible team. I mean, they could go down as the worst team in NFL history, statistically. But when you eyeball them, you know what? They showed some heart yesterday. They showed that they care yesterday. The problem is, will they show that against Philadelphia? Will they show that against Chicago later again? Will they show that against Green Bay and Minnesota? I don't know that answer. You can't assume just because somebody played hard against their former quarterback in a game that everybody said they're going to lose, you can't assume that they're going to have that same fight every week. You know, I don't know.
So, Terry, what else did you have around the NFL? I know Patrick Mahomes certainly was a story as well. He got hurt yesterday. The Chiefs got crushed. He was under 250 yards passing for the first time in his career. I know that T-Foss is over here shoveling dirt on Mahomes. It's over. I may be shoveling dirt on their season, but I'm not shoveling dirt on Patrick Mahomes. But the window is closing because next year for the Chiefs, Mahomes' contract kicks in. He's not on that rookie salary anymore. Tyreek Hill's got a big chunk of money. The window is closing. I will say that.
Yes,
that's
true.
why I thought this year was going to be a big year for them.
Well, it's not, and if this year isn't a big one, I don't know when they're going to do it again. They probably have one more year where they will contend for the Super Bowl, but yeah, I think that window is closing on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so again, they didn't look good. Things looked bad for them, and Derrick Henry did what Derrick Henry does, and that is just go crazy. The Packers beat the Washington football team. Man, I guess Aaron Rodgers was right. Everything is okay, right, Terry?
Right. Overall, I'm probably the most impressed with the Packers because, one, when they lost that season opener, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be here. His teammates don't like him. There's this big thing against management and players, and it's a show. Aaron Rodgers, as he always does, relax. And you know what? They relaxed for 6 wins in a row. And they relaxed to top in the division. And I remember even here on Woodward Sports, I said, you know what? If the Lions can win that game against Green Bay, you could end Green Bay as we know them now. Didn't happen, didn't come close.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Rodgers said, relax, I got this.
And he did. The Miami Dolphins lost again yesterday. Tua did throw 4 touchdown passes. The Falcons kick a last-second field goal to beat Miami. I'm still a Tua guy, Terry. I am. I know. I know that's taboo.
No, it's not taboo. I'm just saying why.
Because he gets it done, man. He does. Now, he didn't yesterday. Did have 4 touchdown passes. If this Lions team were this Lions team with Tua, would you feel better about this Lions team?
Well, if he was on this Lions team, Mr. Tua guy, you'd be running him out of town.
No way.
Because he would look so bad with this group of receivers, with this team. You'd be saying, you know what, I know he's young.
Terry, he'd be on a rookie contract.
I know he'd be on a rookie contract, but you wouldn't want this rookie in here.
And I couldn't get that second first-round pick from the Rams either if I didn't take Goff. That was part of it as well.
Now, if Jared Goff was making $3 million a year, would you want to keep him long-term?
Long-term, no. But through 2023, through the hashtag 2023 movement, yes.
I'm saying you would be saying the same thing about Tua because he would look awful. He would have no...
Threw 4 touchdowns yesterday, Terry.
Okay, no. You put him on the Detroit Lions. He's not going to have 4 touchdowns. He'll have 4 interceptions.
No, it's just I'm a big Tua guy. I know he had a couple picks. Boy, that QBR was low yesterday, though, wasn't it?
Yes,
I still would rather have Tua. I still would rather have Tua here than Jeff Okudah. Still.
Oh yeah, shoot. I'd rather have a whole bunch of people than Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah.
That's my trump card. And when I start talking about Tua, Terry, that's always my trump card. Like when I feel it slipping away.
And you know what? Can't fight you on that one.
Yeah, when I feel it slipping away, like I did right there, like I felt like you had me cornered.
But
I had to pull the trump card.
But here's the thing: Okudah puts you closer. The number 1 pick.
I know, but the problem is I used a number 3 pick to get him.
Got to sacrifice collateral damage sometimes.
And he's still going to be $6 million, $7 million a year on the books for a few more years.
That's true. And then he's got to come back off an Achilles injury.
Yep.
Which everybody is different when you come back. Now, let me help you here. When he comes back, the line's going to say he looks great. His speed is the same. His quickness is the same. Let it go in one ear and out the other. You're never the same player. He will end up going somewhere else after a couple years trying to revive his career.
Yeah, he will. And look, if you're not happy with how much you're paying for insurance right now, you should look somewhere else as well. And a good place to go to would be Legacy Partners Insurance. That's right. Every day you watch the games, you're bombarded by insurance ads. They say they're going to save you money. But if you really want to save the money, take it to the people who will take your insurance needs to market. That's the key, guys. 7 to 10 different carriers. They're going to shop your package around, get the best rate possible. And look, you may be sitting there right now saying, well, Neal, I'm cool with our insurance needs right now. I think everything's all right. Doesn't hurt anything to take a look. Let Legacy Partners Insurance take a look at your situation. Give them a call, 586-209-4600. 4106. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Go to legacypartnersins.com/Woodward Sports as well. And look, they can give you a quote. Find out. Don't wonder. No. Don't tell me what you think. Legacy Partners can tell you what we know. If you get a quote, tell them Woodward Sports sent you. They'll put you in a drawing for a $50 gift card. There's no obligation or anything like that. Do the due diligence, folks. See if you're saving as much money as you can. Give Legacy Partners a call today.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime.
You don't fumble the ball at work. Hey, Drug Bell, Sean Belizean. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, Bell's soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. Pour that out.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house, taking your comments. Our social media handles on there as well. You can reach out on Twitter, the YouTube channel, wherever we are, we're everywhere. So certainly do appreciate you. A lot of people tuning in today, Terry. Numbers are through the roof. Give us a like. Yeah, give us a like on the YouTube channel. If you can.
No, they can. Don't let them off. Just do it. Don't
just do it, damn it.
That's right.
Yeah, I need a Terry Foster damn it on the end of it.
Just do it, damn it.
Your damn it's hit different, man. Red Wings hit different last night. They got a 6-3 road win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Boy, the Blackhawks 0-5-1. It's looking grim over there. But, Terry, I will say this. Every time, and the season's short, I understand that. But it seems as though every time I've had a question about the Detroit Red Wings, they seem to answer it. And, Terry, they really answered it yesterday. They pounded Chicago on the road. And really what I like, Terry, Lucas Raymond with the hat trick. And we keep hearing about these young guys with the Red Wings. But here's the difference. We're seeing it, Terry. We're seeing Tyler Bertuzzi. We're seeing Lucas Raymond with the hat trick. That's what I'm about. Seeing. And they're showing it, man.
They are showing it. But you know what? The Red Wings scare the hell out of me. Ever since they blew that game against Tampa, I think no lead is safe. Even last night, they won 6-3. But oh my God.
You did feel, even when because they scored like 3 times in 7 minutes, took a 4-1 lead. You did never feel easy about it.
My man, Nadamnichuk, whatever his name is, had to make a flying stick save to keep one goal out, and it was like Chicago was buzzing like 10 minutes because they were on 5-on-3 forever, and then they kept, getting penalties, keeping themselves in the hole. They're the cardiac kids. I mean, they can win 8-2, and you still feel uneasy about them.
But that's the way it works with hockey, though, Terry. It seems
Not like that. No, come on,
No,
dude.
Terry. With young teams, young teams,
sure.
when you get young teams, especially guys that can score, what's the skill set that established NHL players or even stars? What's the skill set they seem to pick up last?
Defense.
Bingo.
Well,
or as you would say, bam.
Yeah, bam. It was sort of like Scotty Bowman with Steve Yzerman. We love Steve Yzerman in this town. Scotty Bowman did not. He said, brother, you better play some more defense or else we're going to ship you out of here. Steve Yzerman didn't score as many goals. He was more of a defensive player, and he had to get on Scotty's good side. So I think at some point, I don't know if Jeff Blashill can get this through to them, but at some point, they can't play as much with their hair on fire. They got to sit back and say, okay, we got to defend a little bit. We got to get that mentality. I know that you want to, when you get a lead, you want to bury people. But in hockey, it's a game where you can be on one end and then you're on the other end in less than 5 seconds.
Right.
So you got to make sure that and I'm not going to say just play defense, but you have to be sometimes a little bit more cautious. You have to play back a little bit. you can't be pressing all the time because these other teams can score too.
But for me, Terry, and where I'm really excited is that, though, their ability to put the puck in the net. And look, maybe I'm not the best barometer because I always tell you guys, I love offense. I love baseball games in Coors Field. I love spread options, and I love, Hawaii back in the day with Timmy Chang and stuff like that, spread options, offenses in football. I love the Denver Nuggets back in the day when they would shoot 7 seconds into the shot clock. That's what's entertaining to me. So the fact that this Red Wings team, with where they were the last 3 years, they were wholly unwatchable to me because there was nothing there, Terry. It was such a struggle for them to score goals.
You mean they lost every game 3-1?
Every game.
Right.
Every single game 3-1. And it just wasn't watchable, Terry. This team, I can sit down and watch this team. And I'll be honest, I had forgotten that they were on at 7 o'clock. I knew that they were in Chicago. I figured they were an 8:30 game or something like that. I had forgotten they were on at 7. I got an alert on my phone that somebody scored, and I was like, oh, yeah, the Wings are on right now. So I went and I flipped it on right away. My son, who doesn't really care that much for hockey, we went down to the game against Tampa, and he was like, well, Dad, that was a lot of fun. I said, well, they're not all like that. There's not 13 goals and
really rare.
And fights and energy in the building and all that stuff. I said, they're not all like that. But I'm with you, bud. And he came and sat down and watched it for like 5 minutes, which is big. He's 14, Terry. To get him to do anything for 5 minutes.
But he watched that game for 5
minutes?
He did. Wow.
I was blown away, man. He watched, I want to say he watched more of that than he did the Lions game because I had the TV just on the Lions game. Now, usually on Sundays at my house, my kids both, they like fantasy football. We're all in the fantasy football league together, and they like it. But they're all red zone. They're team red zone. They need that high frequency ding, 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 ding. They need action going all the time.
But that Tampa game, I don't see how you could turn away from it.
Yeah.
It was just every minute, and, they're up, and now they're comfortably ahead. Oops is tied, or they're 1 goal up, and here comes Tampa. Oops, and they score the game winner. That game, to me, was so compelling. I understand a rare NHL game, but you got to see something that you don't see every night.
Right.
And once again, the Wings, to me, have become the cardiac kids. They won last night 6-3, which, if you just look at the stats and just look at the box score, comfortable victory. Not comfortable to me. I swore the Blackhawks were about to go on a 4-0 run in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, I did. And to be fair, I did get that feeling too watching them. But that's cool with me because you were compelled to watch. It was. What's the alternative, Terry? Them being down 3-1 and going, oh, this is over.
Right.
Let's go turn on. Let's go turn on Sunday Night Football.
Or let's look at highlights of the Lions' near victory against the Rams. We could do that.
I should put that out on a Twitter poll. Maybe I'll do that on the next break or something. What was the greatest loss in Lions history? Was it the Chiefs game from a few years ago or the game against the Rams? I think the Rams game will win because of recency bias.
Right.
I think you have to let it age.
Right. And then one of the biggest victories was against New England a few years ago.
But that was an actual win, though.
Yes.
So, that doesn't count. But this Red Wings team, Terry, I'm with it, man. I am. And you know why? Another reason? Because you know my angle all the time. It's $42 million in cap space coming up after next year.
Right. And the Wings are a destination for free agents.
Right.
The Lions, Tigers, and Pistons, not so much. I mean, the Wings can get high-price, high-profile guys to come here and want to play here. So, yeah, there's that potential. There's that potential of watching them in the Stanley Cup Finals again someday soon. Not this year, of course, but that hope is still out there in front of you because the Wings are a real organization. It's a respected organization in the National Football League.
And that's the feeling I get, too, like everybody else from Steve Yzerman. With Steve Yzerman, he's got that everything's going to be okay. Like he's going to take you and bring you in close to his chest and tell you a story, and you're going to fall asleep in his arms. You know like
Steve
that's how I
Yzerman
feel.
Is? He is Bill Belichick without the jerk factor.
No, but I do. I have full faith in him. And believe it or not, Terry, I have full faith in Brad Holmes. I do. Even being a hater and stuff like that, I do, Terry. Because, again, the story's not on the field this year. And I know we're getting swept up in it. And when they win a game, we'll get swept up in it. But there's only one sound. This whole Lions regime, everything comes all down to one sound, Fish.
I still believe in them, too, because what the Lions have tried to do in the past is, okay, let's get the splash in before we've got the building built. What Brad Holmes is saying, okay, let's get the structure in place. It's going to be ugly. People are going to be upset about this. We're not going to have our splashy piece. We're not going to have our quarterback right away or our number one wide receiver. But there's a certain way in which I see is the right way to rebuild it, to build it, and I'm not going to deviate from that. I'm not going to listen to the fans. I'm not going to listen to the forwards. I'm going to stick by my guns, bring in guys who can play, and then we're going to build it that way. So I applaud him for that because he's not taking the cheap, easy way out.
No, he's not. He's sticking to, exactly like you said, he's sticking to his guns, but you can see the process. And Darren McCarty really opened my eyes to that when I was talking to him about the cap space that's available in a couple years. And he pointed out he's drafting towards that. He's like, Neal, there's a whole process to that. And you forget that, right? Like, these guys are professionals at their job, and he did this with an organization before. You forget that. So I do. I have the utmost confidence in him. Dom Rivera, Zadina didn't have any goals, but he had a lot of good setups. And we do have to get my Zadina update. He did pick up an assist last night, so by my count, that's a goal, and that I got to make sure. I know it's a power play goal and 2 assists on the year, I want to say. Yep, that is the case. So, you know, I'm 6 games in. I want to see another goal coming up here pretty soon, guys, or maybe a couple. Like, I do. 20 goals, 5 of them on the power play. That's what I'm looking for from Zadina. So I'm locked in to that. And you should be locked in. If you want your home security to be locked in as well, go to Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm gets it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology, helps you feel safe, all with local 24/7 monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that will let you check in on your home, control lights, temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, all the toys, all the tricks, everything you need to feel safe. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. Call 1-800...
Stay out.
That's 1-800...
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe, just like I trust Fish to make you feel safe with the 1-800...
Stay out.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Callhallfirst.com.
You'll be dying to get your hands on Papa Romano's gruesome twosome. This spectacular deal gets you 2 large one-topping pizzas for a limited time for $19.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Final segment of the show here. It always flies by on a Monday with T. Foss, Terry Foster in the building. My name is Neal Ruhl. Sawyer, it looks like day number 1's coming down the stretch. All right, I'll give you the A.
Thank you.
I'll give you the A, Sawyer. No
Let's
doubt.
see if he's here next Monday when I come back.
Let's hope.
Yeah. No, so far so good, Sawyer. You know, we're still in the first round of the boxing match. We're feeling each other out and stuff like that. What do you think so far?
It's been a great time.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey,
always
you know
like
what?
getting behind the
He's
getting
not
on
in
the
there
buttons.
busting a gasket, letting his blood pressure go high.
No, he's not. Like you're very calming, Sawyer. I will say that.
Appreciate it.
Like, I feel
Legion used to say I look like a hitman, so
you do kind of have like that hitman demeanor,
like a calm hitman, I guess.
Yeah, like even that smile right now. Like, I don't know if you're gonna knife me when I walk by. You know, do that thing real quick with the throat, with the hand over the mouth, so there's no screams, and just kind of let me fall, and then wipe off the knife, and then walk away.
Yeah.
Go to the airport and get on a flight and fly away.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah. Fish in the building as well, though. Happy to have everybody along for the ride. Final segment of the show, as we said. And Terry, there's been a lot of talk out there on the Pistons Twitter. You know, we touched on the Red Wings. They had a big win. Pistons playing at Atlanta tonight, looking for their first win. And here's what it is for me, Terry, because what we saw in those 2 games against Chicago, and this isn't a knock. This is actually, I believe, a good thing. The Pistons looked exactly like the Pistons team last year because that's essentially what they are, minus Cade Cunningham. Until Cade Cunningham comes back, that's when we'll see the difference. Terry, I think more importantly, we're getting a look at this team, again, as it was constructed last year. We saw, them hang with the Bulls and compete, come up short. Then yesterday we saw, or Friday, was it Saturday night? Saturday night. They got cooked, went on a big run at the end, came back a little bit, asked a couple of questions, but in the end lost by 15. I'm actually excited to see when Cade Cunningham comes back how different this team looks. Am I overselling it too much?
No, I know one of the things you want to know. What was my concern factor after 2 games? Not very high.
Me neither.
It is not very high. First of all, the Bulls are one of those teams that has been talked about in the league. This could be a team that does something this year. So, in my mind, the Pistons fought them twice pretty well. Maybe fell apart and the score looked bad in the second game a little bit. But I think there's reason to be optimistic because they fought the Bulls, who are a pretty good team, twice without Cade Cunningham. And I'm assuming they're going to allow Cade Cunningham to actually play this year. I'm just assuming that's going to be the case, and then they'll be a better team.
The word is he should be back available possibly by October 30th, so we will see if that comes to fruition on
October
Saturday.
30th is soon.
Yeah.
Halloween.
This week, yep, Saturday night.
What he's going to dress up as.
Hopefully a savior. Hopefully a savior. And I don't want to put that on him because that was my concern, was that people automatically thought that Cade Cunningham was going to put the jersey on and levitate this franchise to a playoff contender, win a playoff series and stuff like that. Terry, they're still a couple of exits away from the rest out.
Yeah, and I think most people in this city realize that. I think the Pistons realize that. Now, you get your fringe people who, if you bring in a number 1 pick, then you got to make the playoffs. Those people exist, but you got to ignore them. They're still a couple exits away, like you said, and let the process play out. I think Troy Weaver knows exactly what he's doing. He's got a game plan. And once again, not trying to build it with a faulty floor. He wants to make sure that floor stays solid, the foundation is solid, and he's going to build a team that wins the championship here in Detroit.
Benjamin Foe says Jalen Green looked amazing yesterday. He did. You're gonna get those moments of candy with Jalen Green.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to get those moments of candy. He looked lost the first game.
And we're going to be lost here. We're going to say, oh, yeah, Cade Cunningham is our guy. But, damn, look what Jalen Green just did. That's going to happen. You got to focus on your prize. You got to focus on what the Pistons are doing when he gets healthy.
Right. So, again, you're going to have those moments with Jalen Green where he really, really looks good. But, Houston's not going to win a ton of basketball games this year. So, but we'll always keep an eye on it, Terry, because that's certainly what we do, as far as the draft goes.
And Jalen Green is going to bust somebody for 40 points this year.
Yes, he will.
Don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to happen.
And hopefully, Cade Cunningham does that at some point as well.
I'm looking for Cade, 25 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds. I'd be happy with that.
Mike G on our YouTube chat thread says T. Foss's hat makes him look like Oak Tree at Northland Mall is still open.
I thought it was. Oh, that's right. Northland is being demolished. I actually got this. Where'd I get this? Henry the Hatter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and my son, home from college, wanted to take it away from me. I said, I just got this hat. I'm supposed to give it to you? Yes. And that's not happening.
Well, T. Foss, certainly it was a lot of fun running with you, as it always is.
Blast.
You ready for Michigan State week? You ready?
I am. I can't wait to see what all the talk is going to be. Michigan fans, don't utter the words little brother, and you got a good shot at winning.
It hasn't worked out too well for him. No, yeah, it is. It's going to be a lot of fun this week, though. Again, through all your years, Terry, do you remember it like this, though? Because there's stuff on the line for both teams. A lot's on the line.
Sure.
Has it been like that? I don't remember a time where it was like this.
I think there was a 1 year where State went to the Citrus Bowl and Michigan went to the Orange Bowl, and Plaxico Burress destroyed
Yeah, I was going to say
Michigan.
the Plaxico team, yeah.
I think both teams had something at stake then.
Was that Tony Banks year?
That's when Nick Saban left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Tony Banks. I think then, but now what you've got, I kind of like it. You got both sides sniping at the other, saying your team is not really that good. We may not be that good, but we're going to beat you.
Right. People say you look like Red Fox with that hat on, Terry. I don't think so. Maybe a little.
Red Fox had the scraggly beard.
Yeah.
He was disheveled looking.
You've never called anybody dummy either, so.
No, big dummy.
Yeah.
So, nah.
So I think you're all right. T-Foss, it was a blast, my
All
friend,
right.
as always. Sawyer, appreciate you. Fish, great job today as well. And mostly all of you guys for interacting, our YouTube chat, social media, all of it. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'll be back in the saddle with D-Mac and Joik Bell. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. Well, see you later.